Oh, this isn't going to be about Jesus, is it?
All things are about Jesus, Homer. Except this.
Right, so, episode 2, guys.
Oh, recording.
Welcome. Yes, I am recording.
Cool. Right.
We are live.
Hello.
We are going. Just as a recap from episode 1, first one was Homer Simpson. Episode 1 of Gabbin About God, which is what the podcast name is. Myself, Zaid, and Jason.
Yes, hello, yes.
Have returned.
Yes.
But Nathan has not.
No.
For various reasons. No. For work commitments, Nathan was not able to
He's
attend.
deported back to Greece.
Yes, that's gay island. No, I'm kidding. Nathan has moved on to pastures new, so he does not work in the same organisation we work for. He has not been annexed off, but he may take a bit of a break until he readjusts to his new life. We have a replacement in the form of Ben.
Hello.
Ben joined us. When did you join us? At work.
Mid-June.
June.
Sometime, so
Yeah.
about 2 months ago.
4 mint tulips. Yeah. So when did we decide, or when did we realise that you were a Simpsons fan? Actually,
Heather. Wasn't
yeah.
It? Yeah.
So lovely lady called Heather in our office, which she's been asking me to pay her a finder's fee because she said Ben probably likes the Simpsons. She said probably.
Probably.
Just by looking at him, he looks like a Simpsons fan.
Yes. Well, you do look a bit like the Asian Bart Simpson. So
There we go.
You've got the hair and the jokes.
I'm pretty sure there's like a range of bootleg merchandise where you can get like an Asian Bart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like an off yellow. Not to say that you are.
Wow.
Oh god, this just sounded really bad.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but one of those fake knockoff Bart Simpsons.
I was going to say fake knock-off white people.
No, we're not taking it to that. Yeah, we're not taking it there. Yeah, no, and then I delved a bit deeper, and she was like, he quotes Dr. Nick from time to time. He does a good Dr. Nick voice, which I might ask of you to do a bit later on, on tap.
Do I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, so
That's just his voice.
yeah, yeah. I was like,
What are you talking about?
Nah, that's brilliant. All right, I stand corrected. Heather got it absolutely spot on. So yeah. But then I thought, as I thought from the first episode when we were discussing about how I got to know you, Jace.
Yep.
I was just like, Jason's girlfriend still works with us, same office. And she knew I was a massive Simpsons fan, so she was just like, just before Jason was starting, she was like, yeah, he's really into it, all this, and I was like, yeah, right, he is. probably knows all the obvious quotes, he's not a loser like me,
Oh, quite the contrary.
So and then I fired some quotes at him, and we were finishing each other's quotes.
Just finishing each other's sandwiches.
Yes, exactly.
I think we made that same joke last podcast.
Yeah,
We'll go with it.
We'll recap because Ben is new. So
I listened to the first one. Sounded familiar.
So very much the same with Ben. I fired the 4H Club quote, and he got it spot on. So
Fair.
No, it's the children who are so out of touch. So speaking of Ben and being the Asian Bart Simpson, we decided what better way to kick it off with discussing Bart for our episode.
But the regular Bart.
The regular Bart,
Yeah.
the real Bart,
Yeah.
not the Asian.
Not the Asian knockoff.
Knockoff, yeah.
No. And also, it's like his name's Ben, close to Bart.
It does begin with a B. It's one
Uncanny.
syllable.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Fair. All right, we'll go with that. So just as a recap as well, what we do. So we discuss characters. We do character reviews.
That is what we do.
We talk about the quotes, favourite quotes. Now, considering myself and Jason, this is our second episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ben's first, and he's done more research than we have.
The two podcasts combined.
Yes, then the two ultimate losers in this band of three. You know, and that's a compliment to you, Ben.
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate that.
So yeah, we decided to kick off with Bart. So as you've done the most research, Ben,
Hello.
I think you should kick us off. What's quote number one?
Well,
no particular order, but just what's your first one?
Well, I gotta say my first quote is probably one of my favourites as well, and it's when it's mainly due to, obviously the quote itself is just perfect, and it's one of those things that you definitely miss the first time you watch it, but it's the whole scene around it and the escalation of the whole situation. It's when Bart decides to put a cherry bomb down the toilet at school in the boys' toilet room, at the same time that Skinner's mother is using the toilet in the girls' toilet room, the other side of the wall. Now the cherry bomb obviously explodes, which then sends water rocketing up into the sky like a geyser. Or geyser,
Right up into our
yes, which
nether regions, yes.
Which sends Skinner's mother airborne. And the cut straight to Principal Skinner in the Simpsons living room discussing it with Marge and Homer, and the only suitable punishment you can suggest is deportation. And they just want to deport him to France. And then, which leads up to my favourite quote, is when they finish discussing it and have decided that France is going to be a good idea. It cuts to upstairs where Bart's looking at his pet frog, saying, the life of a frog, that's the life for me. At which point Marge enters and say, hey Bart, how would you like to go to France for 3 months?
The life of a frog, that's the life for me. Bart, how would you like to spend the next 3 months living in France? France? Wow!
Which it's so racist. It's so easily missed, but in this day and age.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
Yeah,
I didn't even realise that was the joke growing up.
Yeah.
Just because I had a pure mind when I was growing up. Not racist in the slightest.
So you just learn about
it.
No,
it seems like the French do, though. The Simpsons writers.
Yeah.
No,
understandably.
Yeah. I mean, just like a side note on that, it was the Hank Scorpio episode where they move out of Springfield and they work for Globex.
Yes.
When Homer works for Globex, and it's just basically like a knockoff James Bond villain.
Yeah.
And he's like asking Homer like,
okay,
which country do you hate more, France or Italy? And he's just like, France. No one ever says Italy.
By the way, Homer, what's your least favorite country? Italy or France?
France.
Nobody ever says Italy.
so yeah, and I think I do remember one episode where the French Parliament, or was it like they were just like at a round table, and when they're laughing, they're
oh yeah, the bullfrog.
And of course the bonjour,
cheesing
surrender monkeys.
Yes, from groundskeeper Willie. Yeah. No, the other one was as well when Lisa bursts into the wrong room in school. And she was like, this isn't, and it's like a French class. And he's like, this isn't Mrs. Hoover's class. And he's like, yeah, I don't know who this Madame Ouvier is. And then everyone's laughing at Lisa. And he's like, en français. Oh. So, yeah, I mean, the French do take a bit of a hit with The Simpsons.
They are a pretty hateful bunch.
Hated
bunch.
Yeah.
But that's very true. Like that's what's so interesting about that quote, because I did not put the two and two together.
No.
And it's one of those ones where it's like really early on in the Simpsons' life.
Yeah.
So because you don't tend to watch those repeats, like because the drawings are like all funky and like I think Smithers was black or like.
I think several of the characters have gone like from white to black and then back again. Like the judge. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Schneider.
Is it Schneider?
Yeah, because
but he's always like going from one to the other.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he just gets a very good tan.
Yeah. Or maybe they were using Windows 95 at the time. Didn't have the same shades of colour. But yeah, no, that's actually a fair point. I didn't think about that one. All right, number 2.
From me again?
Yeah.
So my second one, and this is probably one of the more known scenes from The Simpsons, and it's definitely not a quote per se, but it's just the situation again is when they go on to a field trip to the police station, and Bart obviously deviates from the group, finds himself in a room with a wall covered in megaphones, and picks up one and obviously goes the usual testing, then picks up a second and puts them together, and it's obviously testing much louder. And then you just see the look in his eyes. He goes, and then the next cut is him just like running along this line of megaphones, flicking all the switches on, just like leaning out the window. And he's getting ready to speak, and a fly buzzes past, and you hear the and then testing, and then the sonic boom from it just shatters everything. And there's like Professor Frink in his lab, and the octopus tank breaks, and just they look at each other for a brief moment, and jumps on his face.
Wasn't there a pet store as well?
Yeah.
The parrots were all going testing.
Homer opens the fridge, and all the beers burst, and then the one in his hand. No!
Testing. Testing.
And then again to the Simpsons living room with Chief Wiggum with Bart and the ringing. And then when's the ringing gonna stop? Approximately 10 to 15 seconds. It's just yeah. So it's not like an exact quote, but it's just.
And I think as well, like with Bart, he's not as quotable, I'd say, as the some of the other characters. It's more things he does.
It's more his mischievous actions that are the comic value of him, I guess.
Yeah, and his facial expressions, which doesn't help obviously because this is a podcast. But it's just it's some of his facial expressions where there's just a blankness on him.
Yeah,
and I think they draw the blankness really well on him.
Yeah,
him and Homer the same. Like with that blank expression, just adds to everything.
It's the music as well. How it's so subtle, but how it leads up to that, just like that cross point in the thing. Okay, there's something's gonna happen now.
Just off the back of that quote that you just said, it's the same episode where he goes to army school.
Yes, it is.
Like, to straighten himself out.
Yeah.
And like, remember when they like told him about like going to army school, and I think did Homer liken it to a jail for kids or something? And he's like, no jail can hold me, and then he runs off, and then like literally 2 seconds later, he's in the back of a police car being driven back.
Lisa, no! This place is just a jail for children. No jail can hold me.
And that look of defeat on his face when he's in the back of the police car just gets me every single time. Right, and then your third quote.
My third and final. I went for I can't remember which season it was from, but there's an episode that starts with Bart and Lisa disagreeing over which way around the water goes down and sinks, and I think Lisa tells Bart that it goes a different way in Australia, and Bart doesn't believe her, so they go to Australia to try and prove this theory, and Bart, being Bart, obviously deeply offends the Australians, and they decide to punish him by their most severe punishment they know, which is basically a kick up the arse from an Australian guy wearing a massive boot. It's just a kick of bam. And enormous boot. And before he takes a swing, I think, is it Homer that steps in and pulls the boot off?
Yeah.
And then obviously things escalate again, and he then apologizes and says he's going to accept the punishment. And I think, is it from their president or something? Like shines his shoe up, getting ready to kick him through the railings, and he last second jumps out of the way and pulls his trousers down and says, "This is for the United States of America." And
No, Mom, wait. It's time for me to bend over and receive my destiny. Thank you, Bart. I promise I won't make fun of you later for this.
Show them what American butts are made of, son.
That's it, lad. This is for the Commonwealth of Australia.
And this is for the United States of America.
He's got "Don't tread on me" written on his ass.
Dude, was that the same moment as well when Lisa said that I'm surprised he could write so legibly on his part? Which is a fair point to be honest.
It's from all that practice him taking a picture of his ass in the mirror.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things
How did that get in there?
when he gets caught doing it. Is it Margie?
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's such a weird thing to do.
But the going back to the episode, was it where they said it's part of their proud tradition, and the flag, instead of the Union Jack on their flag, it's just a picture of a butt and a shoe coming towards it. That Australia episode gets me every single time.
So good.
The bullfrogs, I would have called him Chaz. Solid top three, Ben. You said that there was a potential. Would you say potential?
So
hiding away.
Yeah, and this it was purely a moment. It's one of those things that Bart is the center of. Doesn't necessarily have to say anything, but it's just the consequences that cascade around him purely from that. And it's the Indiana Jones reference scene when he's trying to get to the school bus before Homer gets there.
Oh god, I love that.
And the trip down the stairs with Homer as the boulder, and obviously the slide on the garage door for the hat. It just cracks me up every time.
It's the way Homer acts as with like an angry tribesman at the end. You know?
It's just when Bart gets under the garage door and the garage door closes, Homer smashes into the garage door and only his belly and his forehead stick through it. It's just so good.
All right, very, very, very solid list. I'm going to let you think whilst Jace reveals his top three.
When you say top three, it's more like a top one.
No, he had some prank phone calls. I mean, Bart's very well known for his prank phone calls.
Yeah.
As well,
I'm trying to wrap my brain thinking of some, but it's just not coming to me.
Did you want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, then you think about which one you can't drop from that list. Now, I had to choose. I won't say what my choice is, but my sort of top three again. It was difficult because it's more about moments and what he does, and rather than sort of specific quotes. But one that like always gets me is again I can't remember what like specific episode it was. Was it Otto? What happened with Otto? Like he had to move in with the Simpsons, or he was like kicked out.
I can't remember what happened before, but yeah.
When he gets back to his apartment and he's like locked out and like his landlord comes. His landlord comes. It's like all that was left was a jar of mustard. I had mustard, which gets me in a sense, but like
we definitely need an episode for Otto.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think we could churn out an episode long enough for Otto. Like there are some moments.
Yeah.
Obviously, not so much later on, but who cares about the ones past season 10? But it was Bart sneaking Otto in to stay over at the Simpsons, and then they all kind of just wake up to the knowledge of Otto moving in, and I just remember, was it Homer that questioned it? He was just like, no, Marge. I think Marge questioned it when she was just like, you should have asked us, and he was like, I did. I asked you, Marge, and I even recorded it as well as proof. And then he plays a recording where he's like, Mom, can Otto stay for a while? He sure can.
Bart, what's going on? Mom, I thought you might forget our little conversation this afternoon, so I took the precaution of recording it. What conversation? Mom, can Otto live in our garage for as long as he wants? He sure can.
Marge, what were you thinking?
It's just it's the way he mimics his mum.
Any character doing an impression of Marge is just gold.
It's incredible, and like fools Homer because he's in a very shocked way. He's like, Marge. But that always gets me because it's just like the epitome of his malevolence. I don't know. Like, it's just like he's thought about these things rather than come clean. I'm gonna come up with a construct where like I'm in the right regardless. So that one always gets me. And then the other one was the where he basically always got out of a school test. And I can't quite remember what happened in that episode, but sporadically throughout the episode, he just kept getting out of an exam. Like every time it was about to happen, like one of them he shouted, "Ow, my ovaries!" like to get out of doing the test. But like it was getting really absurd, and his teacher, Mrs. Crabapple, just comes to him and goes, "Bart, have you ever read the book, The Boy Who Cried Wolf?" Yeah, I've read that. Boy Who Cries Wolf has a few laughs. I forget how it ends.
So, Bart, how are you feeling?
Can't complain.
Well, then, you're ready for your makeup test.
Oh, my ovaries. Suckers.
Have you ever read The Boy Who Cried Wolf?
I glanced at it. Boy Cries Wolf has a few laughs. I forget how it ends.
And that gets me because obviously later on in the episode he's being attacked by a wolf and no one believes him. But it's the way he's so dismissive of it. Just Boy Who Cried Wolf has a few laughs. I forget how it ends. It was just like it kind of just epitomizes his coasting through life. Much like Homer, to be fair, like father, like son. But there always feels like there's a bit more intelligence around what he does than Homer.
He's much more calculating, isn't he? He knows he's got that sort of, not book smarts, but like
street smarts.
Yeah, street.
But not quite so street smarts.
Just looking up that Otto thing, like there are so many good quotes from Otto. Like I don't want to go into too many, but literally just when he's at the Alcoholic Anonymous meeting, like my name is Otto and I love to get blasted.
Yeah, definitely. There's the Otto episode is on its way. It has to happen. But the last quote that I'll put in is kind of plays, or it kind of emphasizes his friendship with Milhouse and how tortured a soul Milhouse is. Like he's on strings basically. Bart has him on strings, and it was but the episode was around. The more hardcore Simpsons fans will know it was around Frank Grimes and the guy who started work at the power plant, the hard-working guy, complete opposite to Homer, and obviously Homer gets on his nerves and drives him to accidental suicide. But but in earlier on, like in the episode, Bart, I don't know how he stumbles onto an auction house, or he's in an auction house or something, and he walks in halfway through. He walks in halfway through the auction house, and the guy's like, the auctioneer is like saying, how much, what's my opening bid on item? This is going to sound really sad. Was it 751? Oh, bloody hell! I remember the number. But Bart doesn't actually know what he's bidding for, and no one has bidded. So obviously everyone knows what he is—a dilapidated factory that no one wants. So he's just out there like, saying $1, and it's the auctioneer. It's just the way the auctioneer is. Everyone, one down here, one there. Sold. But he gets the keys to this really dilapidated factory, abandoned factory, and he's sat in the office, in this big chair, and he's just hanging his elbow out the window, and Milhouse is just walking randomly down the street. And he's like, he leans over and he goes, "Hey, Milhouse, you want a job in my factory?"
You don't have a factory.
Look, I'm a busy man. You want a job or not?
Hey, Milhouse, you want a job in my factory? You don't have a factory. Hey, I'm a busy man. You want a job or not? Okay.
But it's just how dismissive he is of Milhouse. Like, Milhouse knows everything about Bart, and he's just dismissive. It's like, yeah, shut up. I do have a factory. Like, do you want a job or not? And he just agrees to it. Like, but that always kills me about Bart. It's just the way he has him on strings, and it's just like, you know, in those kind of circumstances, say you can do better than that, but Milhouse really can't do better than that. I don't think he can.
I think some of the best Bart moments actually come from him and Milhouse just like interacting together.
Yes,
because he's just such an arsehole to him.
But
it must be such a common thing in childhood where you've got that best friend, or maybe not best friend, but he's the one that you always rip on, and you know.
Yeah.
You go back so far that you just you're not technically friends, but you just can't like escape them.
Can't detach. Yeah. It's like a comfort thing or something. But,
it kind of is. It makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah. It starts to make you think about, like, I don't know, some of the really bad friends you've had in the past. I don't know about you guys, but like, you know, just
You go through. You think of people that you went to school with. And
Yeah.
You think how much you just took the piss out of.
Yeah.
Looking back, that was a right cut to it.
But he still hung out with you.
Yeah, this is some deep soul searching. This is. I didn't realise we were going to delve like this.
Therapy session.
I just wondered what happens at the end of that episode when the factory actually then falls down and all the rats go into mows.
Everybody tuck your pants into your sides. Yeah, I forgot about that. What was that? You tried to blame Milhouse because he put him on night duty.
I thought I told you to watch the factory. I did watch it. I saw the whole thing.
First it started to fall down, then it fell down.
Just to get a copy of the rat comes.
The other bit of that is just like, after he gets that copy, he's like, "So this is my life. At least I've done better than that." God, we're getting into Milhouse now. Like, no, we've got to save that for another time. But yeah, I'd say those are my top three. It's really difficult. There was like, honourable mentions will be his prank phone calls, but we can get into that a little bit later. I'm more intrigued into your top three.
My top one or maybe two.
Okay, we'll go with that.
The top one, well, the one that I immediately came to mind after researching a lot on the internet, was from the episode Round Springfield, which is a play on the famous Miles Davis record, Round Midnight. Yeah. Because, of course, it's about Bleeding Gums Murphy and Lisa's relationship with him and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
God, I know which one you're going to talk about.
So it begins with Bart having a bowl of Krusty O's, but eating the prize, I guess, in it, which is a jagged Krusty O, which for some reason gives him appendicitis. Apparently that's how it works.
Why would you put a metal O in there?
Why did it give you appendicitis?
Yes. That's very true. That's very true.
So he gets rushed to hospital, he has his appendix taken out, and from there Lisa meets Bleeding Gums Murphy, who's in there for some sort of surgery. He dies later. Yeah.
We're definitely not doing a Bleeding Gums Murphy episode.
They were never popular. But yeah, when Lisa and him are talking in the one of the rooms, and Bart comes along with a backless gown thing that they give in hospitals that always have a back back for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Cost saving measure.
And he's obviously drawn. I think he's drawn his ass, and he put like a stethoscope on his ass as well.
Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Dr. Cheeks. I've been doing my rounds, and I'm a little behind.
What are you here for?
My brother just had his appendix out.
Is he going to be okay?
Hello, I'm Dr. Cheeks. I'm doing my rounds, and I'm a little behind. He'll be fine.
It's the play on words
Yeah.
there as well. Also, if you guys noticed, like in 2 of the quotes we've said, both involve his arse.
Yes, he does get it out quite a lot, amongst other things.
Yes.
We're going to go to the movie and all that.
Bountiful
Well, this was a controversial topic in the first episode.
The movie,
Yeah.
We did skirt over the movie from the first episode, and Jace has some rather scathing comments about the film.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but
Well, that's a start.
it just came about 10 years too late.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
Obviously, comparing it to like the South Park movie, which came out at like the biggest time for South Park, so, like the late 90s. I think it must have come out like a couple of years after the second or third series or something. So they timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
But The Simpsons, I remember there were rumours about a Simpsons movie being made like when I was watching TV at my aunt's house and like their old house. So that was like mid 90s. But obviously this came out in what, 2003, 4?
No, it was 2007, I think it was.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
So I remember it came out on Blu-ray, and that was the first Blu-ray I ever got.
Wow.
A Simpsons movie.
No, so like I think as a
Bit of
not to
love it.
Jake's trivia, not to like deviate too much from like Bart and what we're discussing, but basically I feel like with the movie, and I don't know if you guys like correct me if I'm wrong, as a standalone, I think it was strong enough considering how the quality had dropped off by then.
Yeah.
I was really worried when it was coming out because I was thinking the
was this-
series is not good now.
Was this after they? Because I still think the ultimate death of The Simpsons is when they changed to like the HD intro, and everything after that is just rubbish. But there was little golden nuggets between season 10 and whatever that was. But that's kind of when it just like I was not following it anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And that's in the movie was this where Dr. Nick
Bye, everybody.
Actually, I forgot about. I mean, it did have some good one-liners in there, and I think as the plot and the concept of it was decent. It had some laughs, killed some time, you know. So
forget me.
so it wasn't bad. I'm glad they're not doing like a sequel or something. I hope not.
Oh,
anyway.
that would be awful. There's still like 3 seasons left from their renewal. That was there. So
they renewed again.
Yeah, it's going to like
I thought they were
season 33.
I thought they were going to get to 30 and just stop.
No. They should have done that 20 seasons ago.
Yeah. And do you know what? Like the voice actors must be tired now. Like they're in their 60s
It's
now.
just
Like,
money. It's like £1 million an episode.
Yeah.
Even now. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the audience figures are like, but
yeah, it's just
there must be some form of way of it still staying strong for them to carry on.
I think it must just pull in enough viewers.
Yeah, or maybe the really hardcore. I mean, I consider ourselves quite hardcore Simpsons fans, but I mean, I don't pay attention to the new episodes.
No,
I haven't done for years.
No. And it's not on any. Is it on any sort of streaming service? I don't know whether it is in the US, but they must not get any sort of viewers if that's not the case.
Good question.
Yeah, I think Hulu. Do you know Hulu? Have you heard of Hulu?
They didn't release that in this country, did they?
No. So in the US, the Hulu website actually streams it for free to anyone in the US.
Okay.
I believe it's all seasons. Just use a VPN. But I don't have one of those. But yeah, they stream all the episodes. But from a British broadcasting perspective, Sky is the only one. I think Sky still show the new episodes.
Yeah.
So if Sky, I mean, they must give big money to sign that. I don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't know how up to date Channel 4 is. Channel 4 still showing? I watch live TV so little.
Yeah, I know. The death of live TV. No, I think they still show like reruns, but they've like extended it to some of the crap periods. So I think it's like they'll go up to like maybe season 16, 17 or something. I think like but after season 10, obviously it dropped off, but between season 11 and I'd say 15. There were still good enough episodes in there.
Yeah, there were definitely fewer and far between, but there was definitely some good moments in those, but it just sort of tailed off too much.
Yeah, I think just seasons 1 to 10, they were just nailing everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like maybe not season 1 to 3 because I think it was still trying to find its feet, but from 4 to 10 was just gold.
I'd say 3 to 8. there's not a bad episode
Yeah.
in that.
The writing, was just spot on because
Yeah.
every single scene was well constructed. There was no filler. Whereas I
Mm.
think, in the later seasons, like 10 upwards.
Yeah, they're sort of running out of ideas. And
Yeah.
they've lost half the writing staff anyway, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get like 2 or 3 decent jokes every now and then in an episode, but most of it's just filler.
Yeah.
It's just some of the episodes where they just go off on such a tangent where it's just like, okay, this I can't even appreciate it for its randomness. This is just too random.
Yeah.
You know, it was going a bit stupid.
And there's too many like guest appearances.
Yes, I think one of the cameos that really annoyed me. We might have to do an episode on cameos because one of the cameos that really annoyed me, and I think I just stopped, was Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
When he did the wife swap
That
thing or
was a
something, that was an
cringe
appalling episode.
Yeah.
Well, I was just like, time to.
His
time
humour,
to grow up,
I can. It's not really for me. I can appreciate his humour style, but it just doesn't fit in a show like The Simpsons.
Yeah, because like The Simpsons as well has its main characters that it falls on. So like Homer, Bart, like some of the central characters, and Ricky Gervais is very me.
Yeah.
So it pulled all that attention away. And
it's
if you don't find him funny, you're not going to find that.
Exactly. And there's such a difference to writing American humour to British humour as well,
Yes,
and it just doesn't. It doesn't.
It didn't translate.
No.
It didn't translate.
No.
Well.
It was like what happened with The Office and stuff like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he had a cameo in the American one. It just did not work.
Oh, that was awful.
Did he have a cameo in that one?
Yeah.
God. I mean, I watched enough.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched enough of the American Office to find it funny. Like, I didn't necessarily carry on with it, but it was definitely a lot funnier than the British.
100%.
Yeah, because it really found its. Because I think, not that I ever watched it, but I understand that like the first series was trying to almost replicate the British one, but then after that kind of found its own.
I think
found
the
its feet
first.
and really.
I think it was the first season they used the same script pretty much. Obviously, had to adopt and adapt references and things like that. But yeah, to begin with, it was very much a like-for-like thing, and it became its own thing and got massive. Going back to the Simpsons movie, though, I know we don't want to spend too much time on that, but interesting story. You know, with the what was his name, the leader of EPA?
Don't tell me I know this name. Is it Russ Cargill?
Yes.
The guy, the head of the Environmental Protection Agency in that film.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Russ Cargill?
1,000 tough guys.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you got mad with power. Of course I have. You ever tried going mad without power? It's boring. No one listens to you. Like my brother does a lot of computer engineering and things like that, and software creation. He created a program to generate 1,000 characters, and tough and soft, so just the words tough and soft 1,000 times in a random order, and he sent it to my sister in a zip file, so she opened it up and it just almost crashed her computer. She's opened it up and it just tough, soft, just 1,000 times.
Why? I think that is the question we're asking.
He's got a master's in physics, and he's a data scientist now, and he was on a day off, and he was bored, so he could.
Fair enough.
Basically, I was like, well, I'm not going to stop you. Carry on.
when the love of Simpsons and data science come
Two
together.
beautiful things.
It was just perfect.
Amazing. Right,
I think we've gone off on a tangent.
Yeah, we have gone off on a little bit of a tangent. Sorry.
We filled some time.
Sorry, guys, we're filling some time now. So going back to the ultimate top 3, which is one, I'm going to direct this to you, Ben.
Sure.
Which is the one quote you cannot, you absolutely have to have in that list of the ultimate 3 Bart Simpson's quotes or moments?
Say, including moments, it's really hard for me between the testing scene and the cherry bomb scene, but purely from because of the quote that's in there as well and how well hidden it was, I'm gonna go with the cherry bomb, the France exchange.
Honestly, if you didn't mention that today, I don't think I would have picked up on that.
No, it's been ages since I watched season 1.
I think I've seen that episode relatively recent as well.
Life of a Frog. I just think it's
I did not even think, unless Channel 4 did one of those things where they cut it. Yeah.
Oh mate, why Channel 4? So fucking annoying with their censorship.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're not even swear words. They're just like mildly offensive references. Oh, I can't watch it on Channel 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I'm trying to rack my brain about the
They
ones
just
that...
ruin entire scenes. Like the whole scene is building up to this one joke, and they just cut it.
Yeah.
You might as well just cut our fucking episode.
There was that actually one of the ones that really annoyed me about that very quickly was when was it Maud that or Timothy Lovejoy's wife, what's her name?
Helen
Lovejoy. And she when she was like spelling out SEX in like
sex cauldron.
Yeah, exactly. And Krusty goes, sex cauldron. I thought they shut that place down.
They cut that out.
I think they cut that bit out. And I think that really wound me up. You know, because I was like, what's the point in the joke? What's the point in the episode?
Exactly.
Just tear the whole thing down.
That's it.
You know. All right, cool. So you put in the French one.
Yes.
For my one of the many French quotes.
Yeah.
My favourite one, I would say, out of the list, is a toss-up between the "he sure can" and he's mimicking and his mum, and the boy who cried wolf.
Oh.
I think I'm going to actually go with the boy who cried wolf, just because of how flippant he is about it. He's just like, yeah, boy who cried wolf, has a few laughs. I forget how it ends, you know. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the one that I chose, I'm going to have to choose that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, just very quickly, the honourable mentions of his prank phone calls.
Oh, yes. Well, the one that I chose isn't actually one of his prank phone calls, per se.
Okay.
It's the one where... I forgot what the episode it was. But when they have members of Springfield taking over teaching duties in the school.
Yeah.
And they have Mo doing roll call in the classroom. And yeah, it's like, okay, when I call your names, you say present or here, or oh no, say present. And then it's nothing that Bart says, but it's just
that's because he
my butt reeks.
It's because he wrote the register. Yeah. No,
I need a badge.
I need to Bart gets me all the time. But it's always like, settle down.
5 years.
Children, I can't help that. Oh god, we're going into Mo now. No, honestly, the Mo that has to be in the Mo episode. Is that it's just the way he's such a sensitive soul, but a scumbag at the same time. It just doesn't.
The plastic surgery one. So good. But yeah, that's
right. So that one, not quite a prank phone call, but I see where you're coming from.
It's all on the same sort of lines.
For me, it was a toss-up between Amanda Hug and Kiss and Huge Ass. And it's just because with the Huge Ass, it backfires on him because there's someone called
Huge Ass backfires?
I did not think that one through. But there is actually someone in the bar called Hugh Jazz.
There's got to be someone called that in real life.
Hugh. Well, you drive a Honda Jazz, so it's kind of close to that. I think you should actually call your car Hugh.
Hugh Jazz.
Yes. Oh, definitely call your Honda Hugh. That's it. It's sorted. It is sorted. Amazing. So we say
anyway.
our top three is the French episode. Are we just gonna call it the French episode? The cherry bomb leading to him going to France. The boy who cried wolf, and the Dr. Cheeks.
Dr. Cheeks.
Yeah, I'm a little behind. I'm doing my rounds, and I'm a little behind. Yeah, amazing, great. And just as a sort of a conclusion or a wrap up to this brilliant episode.
It's almost like we had a plot.
Yeah, almost did. But I guess where does Bart rank for you guys in terms of ultimate characters in The Simpsons? I mean, do you sort of? I know it's difficult because we don't really have like a top person or whatever, but like I always look through certain characters and I'm like, yeah, they're hit and miss. Like sometimes they have their little one-liners, but more often than not, you could just fade into the background.
Yeah.
I think the trouble with Bart is because so much of it is centered around him. It's almost like too mainstream to consider him like your favorite character.
Yeah, especially in the I think we touched on this last episode, but because the first few seasons were so centered around Bart because he was like America's bad boy.
Yeah.
I'm doing in air quotes for you people listening.
The 3 people listening to this.
Which will be us.
Yeah.
But yeah. So in terms of like ranking him as a character, like obviously he's brilliant, and there wouldn't be a show without him. Type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd struggle to put him in my top characters. Yeah.
Yeah, and as well, it like I said, for like quotes and stuff, it is difficult to like pull them out unless you're like a real big Simpsons fan.
Or you're Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Because he loved Bart Simpson.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bart Simpson.
And yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
but
Hey, little boy.
Yeah.
He had a few screws loose, and
So many.
yes. And played with a few screws as well.
Children.
No, God, now we're getting into South Park. Yeah, it's difficult. It's more his reactions. It's more his actions.
Yes.
And like some of the things that he does. Like, I guess I have to get into the crawl space again. Like, you know, or actually one that was just very, very random as well. Like, made no sense, no context. It's probably come from an obscure film that I haven't seen or I don't know. But is and the episode was nothing to do with Bart, nothing to do with this. It was actually a Homer and Marge one. It's when Homer eats the ghost chili and he goes crazy.
Yes.
And he comes in after like hours of being out, like spaced out from this ghost chili that he eats. And he comes into the kitchen and stumbles across Bart and Lisa, and he's like, Bart just turns to Lisa and goes, "So I says to Mabel's, I says." He's like, "Hey, where's your mum? I think she's in the living room." "So I says to Mabel's, I says." I'm like, who's I says to Mabel's? Who's Mabel's? Like, I'm sure it was like an obscure
reference.
Yeah, but it just gets me. It just gets me every time.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
But yeah, that reminds me of the when Bart and Milhouse have the super slush squishy.
Oh,
when
that's so great.
They're in a pooze and he's like, I can't remember the exact wording. He was like, they ask for a squishy and he's like, I want it to be like 100% pure syrup.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's good.
Just slams up the 20 on
the And they go like, I think they like replicate a scene from Cats and like some really weird shit going on in that episode.
I just remember one of his faces. It's just like a really blunt face that they draw. Is when he has Stampy. I can't believe the Stampy episode.
Stampy.
I've got the Stampy episode. For those of you who don't know who Stampy is, he won an elephant on a radio contest. Yeah. And like the cost of running this elephant, or the cost of the upkeep of the elephant, was like astronomical. And Homer's like, "This is coming out of your allowance." Gives him the paper. It's just the way he looks at the paper and just goes, "You have to raise my allowance by about $1,000. Then that's what I'll do, smart ass. Yeah. But it's just the way he looks at it very, very flippantly and just gives it back to him. It's like, you have to raise it by. You took part 2? That wasn't part of the deal, Black God. Alright, we're getting into too much of a tangent. But for those of you guys who are still listening now, thank you so much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. We'll try not to
send
go
us money.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Send $1 to Happy Dude. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and say like and subscribe because there's probably about
Like, share, subscribe, buy merch.
buy merch.
Yeah, but t-shirts coming out next.
Yes. With the real Bart Simpson on there, not the Asian one that we have on the couch.
Eat my turban.
We can have a whole range of them, spanning all different regions.
Yes. Yeah.
Asian Bart Simpson, Jamaican Bart Simpson.
Yes. Vegan Bart Simpson.
Vegan Bart Simpson.
Yes. Well, actually, no. There's not much of a change because he'll still say, "Eat my shorts."
And don't have a cow.
Oh yes.
Pooh did that though. He had those t-shirts, didn't he?
Yeah.
You can buy those as well.
Yeah.
So we two epiphanies during this episode was
Really?
Don't have a cow with vegan Bart,
Yeah.
and now you're going to name your Honda Jazz Hugh Jazz.
There you go.
Amazing.
My life is
Complete.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Until next time, this is us signing off.
Ta-ra.
Bye.